Got it. 1 cup of sugar, perfect, and some butter. Can I use these? I don't really have a block. I've got some, yeah? I'm gonna put those in there. Perfect, good. Oh, hey there, guys. I'm taking a baking class over the internet. Oh, nothing. I'm just doing a thing. Yeah, sorry. My instructor is teaching us how to bake a cake from scratch. It won't take long, so you just have a little patience, and I'll be right. Mix. Okay, all right, good. Patience is waiting until later for what you want now. Eggs? I don't have eggs. I probably don't need them. Anyway, I've got to catch up. How much vanilla did you say I need? Excuse me, pardon? How much vanilla? What was that? I missed the last part. Excuse me, teacher? Oh no, computer's frozen. Computer's frozen. How am I gonna do this? Maybe it's frozen, we're both frozen, I don't know, but technology is not working. And listen, I've gotta wait until it unfreezes before I can make my cake. You know, sometimes we have to wait for things when we really don't want to. Just like in today's story, sometimes, also like in today's story, we don't wait. And I'm making this cake here. How much milk, how much flour? I don't even have milk, I just got water. Oh well, we'll try it out, here we go. Water's probably fine. Perfect. Here we go, that's probably good, I'd say. Oh, I almost forgot the vanilla. That's good. We'll see. We'll see what it looks like when we come back. Here we go. Time to mix. That looks good.
The Bible, it's 66 books of history, stories, letters, and poetry that fit together to form God's one big story. The epic adventure of how He created us and loves us so much that He made a way to rescue us. As we travel through the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, we discover people who met God and found their lives changed forever. Now, for an amazing story inspired by the book of Genesis, chapter 25, verses 24 through 34.
When Abraham's son Isaac grew up, he married a girl named Rebekah. But it didn't seem as though they'd be able to have children.
Please, God, give us children.
But God answered Isaac's prayers, and Rebekah became pregnant with twins.
Isaac, I'm pretty sure they're having a wrestling match in here.
Oh, definitely boys.
Rebekah asked God about the struggle she could feel. He told her,
2 nations are in your body. One nation will be stronger than the other. The older son will serve the younger one.
When it was time for the babies to be born, they came out fighting. Esau was born first. He came out with a strong set of lungs and a head full of red hair. His brother Jacob was born moments later, still holding on to Esau's heel.
How on earth did he manage that?
The brothers shared the same birthday, but as they grew, that was about the only thing they had in common. Esau loved to roam far out into the wilderness.
I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more.
Jacob preferred the comforts of home.
The sun is so hot. I'll just take a little nap in the tent.
Esau loved to hunt wild animals.
That is one excellent wildebeest.
Jacob preferred a different type of hunting.
Not you, not you. Ha! The perfect ripe honeydew melon.
One fine morning, Esau headed out into the wilds in search of adventure and some nice, juicy venison.
I'll feast tonight.
But Esau went all morning without spotting a single rabbit.
Ugh, should have packed a lunch.
In the afternoon, he tracked a deer for hours, but he missed his chance as the deer sprang away.
Ah!
At last, Esau headed for home, defeated. He was tired and irritated and so hungry he could eat an entire woolly mammoth.
Must eat food.
As Esau neared camp, a delicious smell wafted out to greet him.
Food!
Jacob had been home all day, resting and plucking his favorite herbs from his garden.
A little coriander, some dill.
As evening approached, Jacob used his savory herbs to whip up a tasty red lentil stew and a batch of fresh, buttery bread.
This will crisp up nicely on the hot stones.
By the time Esau had arrived in camp, Jacob's stew was simmered to perfection, and the bread was hot and crusty.
Food. Food.
Esau lunged for the stew cauldron, ready to grab a bowl, but Jacob blocked his path.
Not so fast.
Step aside, I'm hungry.
Clearly.
Just let me have some of that red stew.
Certainly.
Esau tried to dive for the stew pot again.
Just one itty-bitty thing.
What?
Well, first, give me the rights that belong to you as the oldest son.
Esau spent more time listening to his stomach than his brain. So in that moment, his stomach won out.
Look, I'm dying of hunger. If I die, those rights are pointless anyway. Now give me that stew.
Esau sprang forward once more.
Promise to give me your rights.
Fine.
Fine what?
Fine, I promise.
Promise what?
I promise to give you my rights as the oldest.
Cool. Help yourself.
Jacob stepped aside as Esau hurled himself at the stew pot.
Stew!
Esau happily gorged himself on rich stew and fresh bread. But as his stomach filled up, he had time to stop and think again. Esau had just traded the rights of a lifetime for a meal that would only last him a few hours.
Listen, let me give you a little advice. Don't bake angry. Instead of making a cake, you end up making a mess, like me. Listen, that's what happens when you lose patience. You make choices you normally wouldn't make, and it ends up costing you. Losing patience ended up costing Esau's birthright. His brother Jacob ended up being in the family line of Jesus. So who knows what all Esau missed out on by being impatient. See, when we don't learn to have patience, we get frustrated easier with ourselves, with others, even with technology. But there's really nothing good that can come from being impatient, right? So think about when you're waiting for your turn on a video game, or when you're waiting to say something when someone else is talking, or when you're waiting for the internet to hurry up and start working again. Having patience is better than losing. Slow down, or you could hurt yourself or someone else, or you could end up covered in cake batter and flour. But here's our bottom line for today. If you don't wait, it can cost you. If you need help waiting, ask someone you trust to come alongside you.
Are you there?
Or you're not frozen anymore. Listen, I lost you for a moment.
Technical difficulties, I see. How's your cake?
I think I'm gonna need another
Well,
lesson.
same time next week?
Sure, I can't wait. I may have the place cleaned up by then.
Fair enough.
Nothing is a thing. Listen, I'll see you next week, same time. How much flour was I actually supposed to use?
2 cups?
I think I had too much. Thanks so much for joining me at Kids Point Online, guys. I love being with you guys each week. And don't forget, if you're in Miramichi or the Bathurst area, you guys can actually come to Kids Point in person. And we got some great volunteers that would love to see you. And even your friends, they probably haven't seen you either in a very long time. They'd love to see you guys again. But if you're not from here or you just can't make it, listen, I'll be back, same place, same time, right here on the 936. And don't forget to subscribe so you'll always be notified when Kids Point goes online. And don't forget, guys, being patient can be hard. For me, it's challenging. I've got a little girl who's 3, and even this past week, I wasn't being very patient with her. And I lost my cool, and that affects me, and that especially affects her. So I know I need to do a better job being patient, and I know you do too. So listen, guys, thanks so much for coming. I can't wait to see you guys next week. Take care.